again, guys.
Hey.
Today we want to do a video that we've been wanting to do for a while, and we've been putting it off a little bit, but today we finally have some time to sit down and talk about it. We want to talk about how we've been doing, how we've been liking, what differences there are between Landstar and the carrier we were with prior.
The big question.
Most of you that watch our vlog videos probably realize that we are very happy with the decision that we made to come over here. And
Gravely.
Yeah.
I mean, we beat ourselves up every day we didn't make the move sooner. It's really night and day between where we were at Panther and being over here at Landstar. Over at Panther, when we would get a call for a run, we didn't feel like we were working with somebody to achieve the ultimate goal of, servicing the customer. It was either you take this run or we hit you with the refusal. Over here at Landstar, when we talk to the agents, we feel like we're working with somebody, not working for somebody. And it really makes the job a lot nicer. We have a goal of getting deliveries done on time all the time. And when you have somebody else that's helping you get those loads that has that same goal, it kind of streamlines the process, if you want to say. It just makes it easier for us to do our job, that we're not stressing out every time that phone rings and we see Landstar's name come up. We're not stressed out anymore like we were before. It got to a point, every time I seen that name Panther come up on my phone, I was just like, God, what do they want now?
What are they going to offer?
What are they going to try to get me to do now? And what are they going to try to force me to do and get all pissed off because I won't do? And the stress level now, oh my gosh, it's so much lower. I mean, we used to get in arguments. Like, I would just be stressed out after dealing with dispatcher, and then it would just ruin my whole day. I would just fester over it sometimes, and it
would ruin both of our days because he was in a bad mood, which put me in a bad mood. It trickles down.
It trickled down. It caused us to have more arguments and just have more bad days. And not to say we still don't have bad days, but they're fewer and far less between, that we have these days. It's more enjoyable that we've had.
Definitely, yeah. So that is one of the biggest differences, is before we were dealing with dispatchers, now we're dealing with agents.
Yeah.
Like Jason said, the stress level has gone way down. It's a totally different way to deal with.
To do business.
To do business, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
We do not have one bad thing to say about Landstar. We absolutely love it here. We wish we would have came sooner.
Even though it's only, what has it been, about 4.5 months now since the middle of July?
About 4.5 months. They're not perfect. One complaint I would say I would have is whenever we're on a run and we're going through like Ohio, Indiana, something like that, we're already on a run and we're already booked up. And I really feel bad about this, is an agent will call us up and they look on their computer or whatever and see we're in that area. We're constantly getting phone calls asking us if we're available. We're constantly having to say, no, I'm sorry, we're booked up right now. We have a load. And, you can look at it both ways. I mean, it does give us the opportunity to talk to more agents. As those phone calls come across, I try to save the phone numbers and get a name of who I talk to. If we're ever back in that area, I might give them a call. But I feel bad that, gosh, some days we'll get like 4, 5, 8 calls in a day, and we're already booked up for like the rest of the week or something.
The reason that happens is just the technology. I think Landstar is a little bit behind on their technology.
Yeah.
If we're sent over a load, say we accept a load from an agent, if they don't send it over as a load confirm, then other agents don't know we're on that load. And a lot of times if we're on a load and we have a backup load, they can't send it as a load confirm. And it may be just how we're doing it. Maybe there's a better way to do it. We just haven't figured that out yet. But
you got to admit something. It's worked for them for so many years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, something's happening right. We just, it's as a driver, we have to figure out how to make it work for us, you
Right.
know. And it's nothing major, you know. It's
No.
something little, small. I mean, I guess some people would get aggravated about it, but
And even though it makes us feel bad when agents are calling and we have to tell them we're already on a load, those agents, I think, realize that the system, so they don't get upset when we
they're
tell
not.
them that.
Yeah, they're not upset. They're friendly. I've
Mm-hmm.
even struck up conversations with a couple, and other times they seem busy and they really need to get that load covered, so they jump off fast. As far as money, and I know that's what most
That's
people,
a big question. I know that's a lot.
Everybody want to know that one.
Yeah, how's the money?
How's the money? What you making over there? We don't want to give a total number just because our operation is going to be different from anybody else. There's so much variations in over here at Landstar. You could pick up a dedicated run. You could have a lift gate and do service one customer. There's just so much different variations, you know, that coming over here. If you have your DOD, or if you have a lift gate, or, you know, if you're a reefer, or there's just so many different variations. But right now, as of the 3 months that we've been with Landstar, our all miles, I will say, is 35 cents more a mile than what we made at Panther.
All miles average.
All miles. And we calculate this. We write down our mileage at the beginning of every month, and we put that in our profit gauges, and then whatever money we get that comes in gets entered in there also. So our miles, we've been doing this way for a while. It's what we make per mile. That includes deadheading. That includes deadheading home. That includes every single mile we drive and every single dollar we're paid. We're over 35 cents more a mile, and that is huge.
That is.
That is really huge.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, you think on 150,000 miles in 1 year, you can do the math. That's a big number, you know. That's a lot greater than what we did before.
Yeah, much.
Now, it's not to say that everybody's going to do better.
Speaking about the rates and money, that is one thing that's very different between here and what it was at Panther. At Panther, we made a contracted rate per mile. So we made, let's just say, $1.35 per mile, loaded mile. They did pay for deadhead. It was usually a lesser amount depending on fuel. Let's just say average of 25 cents a mile on the deadhead. Maybe you could...
Yeah, it was about 25 cents.
Yeah, you could maybe negotiate a little bit more if it was a lot of deadhead, which I don't think we ever got much over $1.
$1.
When they would agree to do that.
Right.
Here, we are deadheading a lot more, but our mindset has had to change because, like Jason said, all miles, we are still ahead than what we were making at Panther.
Right.
It's been a little bit of a mindset change that we've had to do, thinking about the deadhead and loaded miles. And just because it is a far deadhead, that doesn't mean that we want to discount that. And we did a video recently about deadhead, and so I won't go into a lot of it here. I'll link it above here. You can go back and watch that. But that's a big difference, really.
It was,
too.
it was a big difference. And
but the rates here, unlike Panther, where no matter what kind of load that we did, here the rates are different for every load.
They're different, yeah.
Yeah.
Some pay really good. Some you kind of break even a little better. And what we've tried to do is keep ourselves moving. We've been going to a lot of areas that we don't like to, like the Northeast, but it's kind of kept us moving, you know, and each day we were getting another load. We're still in the learning process, you know. I think we can still do a lot better than what we're doing now.
We're still newbies.
Yeah.
We are still newbies over here and learning all the time.
Yeah, I still think we can do a lot better. You know, the longer we're here, the more we learn, the more drivers and agents and other people we meet and just learn, you know, we're just going to get better.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention, like Jason said about we've been running some areas that we don't really like to run. The one thing I do like about Landstar is if it's going somewhere we don't want to go, we can turn it down and they do not get mad at us. They are just like, okay, and go on to the next person.
We try not to be those picky drivers, you know.
No.
Like some folks just will not go to the Northeast. We'll go, you know.
The money's right, we're going to go.
We're going to go.
And it keeps us moving.
Yeah. Now, if we get stuck in a continuous loop up there,
we can tolerate it to a certain point, and
To
then
a
it's kind of
certain
like,
point.
okay, we need to go
we need
somewhere
something
else
different.
for a little while.
Yeah, for a couple weeks. Yeah, but
Yeah, but that's
um,
one thing I really do like and about Landstar versus where we were before.
yeah.
Another thing that is different here than where we were before at Panther is, Panther had dispatchers, like we said, they would call with loads or send them over the QC. Here, and I think we've talked about this before, we have to be very proactive in finding loads. We don't necessarily go on Landstar's load board to find loads because of the freight that we haul. A lot of times we'll get loads that we can take off the Qualcomm, or agents will call us, or we call agents when we know we're going to be in their areas and say, hey, we're going to be there this date. If you have anything, we'll be there.
And that's one thing I really like about this, because with Panther, you basically go to a city and sit
And wait on them.
and
Yeah,
wait
you
for
have to
them.
wait on
And
them.
oh my gosh, I mean, what kind of people are you sitting there waiting on? Are they actually in the office doing their job? And how overwhelmed are they? Are they understaffed that day? Do they have enough people in the office to be actively looking for loads for their trucks out there, or are they so busy swamped trying to put out fires that with problem loads they've had? That drove me nuts, because we had absolutely zero control of trying to get our next load. Whereas here, I get on the phone, I make calls, I call this person, I call that person, everybody in that area that handles that area with freight, I give them a call and say, hey, we're in this area, what do you got? This is what we can handle. I feel like I'm part of helping us get a load, whereas before we just go and sit.
Yeah, and if we're sitting now, it's most of the time it's our doing. Either
we
we want to sit, or it's we did something that we had to sit.
Turn down a load that
that maybe we should have taken or something. That's on us. But we're not sitting because we're waiting on dispatchers to just
sitting there waiting for somebody. That is the number one thing that will make you go absolutely stir crazy. Yeah. Just knowing that there was absolutely nothing you could have done to improve the chance of you getting a load, just having to wait on somebody else to do their job. Oh.
And I think that's the biggest difference too with the agents. These agents, they don't get paid unless they're getting these loads covered.
Right.
Dispatchers that are getting an hourly rate, they don't care. They get paid no matter if you take a load or not.
Right. These agents get paid a percentage of the loads they get covered. The more loads they get covered, the more money they make. The more money we make. If you want the money, you go out and get it. That's the mindset over here, I feel, and that's.
Yeah, so if you're somebody who is not into going a go-getter and
making those calls,
you're probably not going to fare well here.
Introducing yourself and trying to meet agents and trying to sell yourself, and it's a skill, and not even a skill that I have mastered. It's something I'm still working on. I feel I can do better sometimes, and I get complacent sometimes, and it's something I'm constantly working on. But that is the hardest part. That is the hardest part of coming over here, is actively trying to sell yourself to these people, to convince them, hey, we're good drivers. Give us a call. We'll get the job done for you. We'll make the job happen. You can count on us.
You do that enough with the same agents over and over, they're going to start calling you. We have a couple agents now. If we're rolling through their area, they've called us.
They'll give us a call. Yeah. Hey, you got anything? Or hey, I see you're coming to my area. Do you have anything lined up yet? And we hope this kind of helps understand the Landstar process. If any of you are thinking about making the move, it's different from what you may expect, but it's not horrible.
No.
We love it here. We plan on being here many, many years till we retire, probably.
Yeah. And we'll do another update video a couple months from now. Maybe after the first of the year. We've been here 6 months, and kind of do a follow-up video. And most of you can see what we're doing in our vlogs. Our vlog videos, we tell you the loads we're doing. You can see what we're doing, so you can tell if we're busy or not busy. So
that's why we share those, just so you guys see, what we're out here doing. And what the possibilities are. And
If any of you have any questions about Landstar, about the process we went through, you know, we don't know everything, but we're always willing to help. You can contact us. We're happy to help you with what we can. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until our next video, peace, love, and expediting.